So here we are again for another session. Karibuni sana. So it's basically around 8:08 p.m. Kenya time, East Africa time. And let me just start by sharing my screen. So we've been running this through for around 6 weeks now. And it has been awesome. During what we should have been our final session, we realized that we didn't do a number of activities, actually 2 to be precise. So, basically, what we wanted to do is there's something about a Lambda and a Beanstalk. So what basically we'll start with Lambda is it is serverless. Basically, you don't need a server to run the service, but it is event driven, something that is something to note. You should have already learned about this during your module. It is actually module, which module is this? Module 6, yes, actually only module 6. So basically when you look at it, when you look at Lambda, it actually depends on functions. I wanted to use these, actually love these using, where is it? Where is this thing disturbing me here out of the, okay. Kindly stay muted. I don't want to start on mute and muting and all that, so that you don't have to care about that. So kindly check on your microphone. So I was about to, okay, let me just use this one. It's just that the other one has disappeared out of nowhere. Let me just get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. Okay. So here was so it can actually be used in file processing, stream processing, web applications, IoT backends, and also even mobile backends. And you can see there's an overview of how it can do each of them. You can see with both web applications and IoT. So I'll basically share this. Sorry, I'll share that onto the chat, so you'll have a better look at it on time for the different kinds of activities or what Lambda can support. So this activity, this hands-on activity, is basically what we're going to be doing. You're going to have a time-based CloudWatch event. Then you're going to have a Lambda function, which is going to be triggered, which is basically to be an IAM role. Then it will actually require that an EC2 instance to be stopped. So basically, you're going to create a CloudWatch event, an Amazon CloudWatch event, and then it's going to trigger the function every minute. Then the function will actually use AWS IAM role, and the AWS IAM role basically will allow the function to stop an EC2 instance that is running on the AWS account. So let's look at how it's going to work out. So I've already I clicked on my start lab even before the moment I just entered the session. So by now I'm expecting it should already been running. So I'll click on my AWS. Again, remember that once you do it, you start arranging your screen side by side so that you can easily get to follow the instructions. I think this one is too wide. This one will suffice. So you can see I've already done this. So this is the setup we're going to be having. We're going to have a CloudWatch, then we're going to have a Lambda function that is going to be triggered every minute, and it's actually going to use an IAM role to stop an EC2 instance running on the account. So We'll first of all start by creating a Lambda function. So you're going to create, we're going to go to services, then you're just going to search for Lambda. So here we have, you can run code without thinking about servers. So I told you, if you see a warning message that says tags failed to load, you can ignore it. So I'll just leave that. I think we're going to have that. Then once it loads, you're going to now choose on. So you can see that is the warning, so we can ignore it. So always remember that it is a serverless computing service, and you don't have to think about the servers that are going to run the function. And as you can see right now, we don't have any function running on our account here. As you can see here, you can see that it's not running. Then we're going to start by creating the function, so you can see. And you're going to configure the settings. There's author, you can have author from scratch. You can use a blueprint, you can use a container image, you can browse a serverless app repository. These are the options you have for creating. But for our case, you're going to author from scratch. Then you're going to call it the way it's been told, my stopinator. First of all, I don't know if, is there any one of us who is doing this? Maybe you can tell me in the chat, Meshach, Abraham, Lydia, Victor, William. Is there any one of you who is doing it so that we can do it together? We can go at a similar pace, at least not too fast or too slow. So if there's anyone who is running this on their machine right now, it would be very good for me to know so that we do it together. Or your lab is still creating, still starting. So okay, so let us wait for all of us. Once it finishes creating, you just tell me. Then we can go on, so that I don't go too far, and we need to go together. So as your lab creates, I can go to this part. Maybe I can just take it out of this screen and just make it bigger. So Lambda is very good because you don't have to think about EC2 instances. And sometimes EC2 instances are quite expensive servers. Thinking about when should they run, you should shut them down when you're not using them. And you really think about Lambda as a pay for what you've already used, or pay only for what you use. And don't think about it in terms of file processing. For example, think of it like, let's say you've seen those services online. Maybe let's say I want to make, I can say compress images online. Compress image online. So like I can see there's this software service called maybe compress JPEG. And you can see all I need to do is maybe upload my file. I can see some advertisements that are already running for the purposes of making money. I just upload my file, then I'll wait for it to be compressed. So you can see this whole service, this web application can be running purely on Lambda. So and you can see this is so you can see you can have a photo, your photo is uploaded onto an S3 bucket, and actually maybe the Lambda function is triggered the moment a photo is uploaded. So you can see this source service will not run unless I upload file. It is not going, and the moment I upload any picture, it will start automatically processing the picture, because it knows that. And actually it has to check, it has to be, if it's on the JPEG, it will be JPEG. If it is PNG, it is GIF, if it's PDF, whatever it is. So once the Lambda is triggered, the Lambda function, the Lambda is triggered, basically you're going to have the code that to resize the image which is going to run, and then the photo is resized. So you can use that, for example, like Lambda can do data processing real time. Just basically, at the moment an upload has successfully completed, you can just have that done. And you can see you can even use EFS. You don't have to just use S3. Let's say file storage service. And then you can enable what we call massively parallel shared access for large scale file processing. So S3 cannot do much with regards to large scale, but EFS can come to the rescue. And you can see these are some of the things that you can do. You can process data at scale. Good, Abramius is ready. Let us wait for the others. As far as is ready, you can just click on AWS and start arranging your windows side by side. If you've already arranged your windows and you're already on the first step, you can just tell me, then we can go on. Then you can also use, which is very important, you can use Lambda to do data pre-processing before you actually feed it to a machine learning model, which is very key because a lot of people are actually creating machine learning models, hybrid classifiers, and a number of things that would require that before you release the model into the real world, you should have already fed it with some training data and some test data so that you can be able to run. So you can also create what we call event-driven applications. Basically, you can run some applications basically when it is peak times, so that you also save and also don't over provision resources. For example, running an instance as in-situ instance always on, and sometimes you have low peak, low, and not non-peak times. For example, in the wee hours of the night, it's not going to be quite feasible. So I don't know. I think we can go on. We have William and Abraham ready. Victor, are you ready? Are you ready? We go on. So I hope you are under create function and you're here. Yours is still in creating. Okay, we still and try and catch up also. I don't know why your resources, but I had, okay, there was an issue with the Learner Labs, which I don't know whether if you logged in, you've seen that message appear that Learner Labs had an issue and maybe they're going to also restore that. So just getting a sip of water here. Okay, let us go on. So you need to author from scratch. That is the option we're using right now. Then you're going to use the function name is going to just, this looks like a creative kind of name using the word terminator. So it's just called MyStopinator. So the runtime is going to be Python. So you can see your runtime can run on different codes. And this is very important. For example, in AWS, and you want to use AWS for development, there's usually different tracks. Like right now, even the AWS community builder program that I joined under the dev tools, development tools. And you can see there's a lot of power that comes when you're actually using the cloud services, especially AWS services, and you complement it to your development. It gives you a lot of flexibility that you might not have gotten if you're just using a provider who has already restricted the number of services that you can get or you can use online. So I'm told to use Python 3.8. There are other latest supported environments or runtime environments, but let us use the exact one on the lab, which is Python 3.8. Choose or create an execution role. So I think let's say use an existing. So here you need to just, this one is disabled. I mean, it is not expanded. Then you just expand that. Then you're going to use an existing role. It is written choose or create an execution role, but this one is called change default execution role. So you should note that. Then I'll choose my stopinator role. You can see it has been created. This is a role. This is an I think an IM role, an execution role that has already been created under in the IAM identity and access management. Then I think we don't need to do anything under advanced settings. Leave it at that. Just click on create function. So let's create. I hope everyone is already getting it. You can see my function has now appeared. It was not there. You can see it is here, my stopinator. So after you've been able to create the function, the Lambda function, which is already here, you have to configure the trigger. Basically, the trigger is what is going to cause the function to be executed. So first of all, if I just pause at that and ask if any one of us has already been able to create the function successfully, like how I've been able to do it right now. Anyone has been able to do it successfully? Anyone? Kindly tell me so that we move together. I'm waiting on you. Have you been able to successfully create the function? I'm stuck. My lab is still in creation, but I hope. Okay, it's okay, Victor. But you can still as you peep on your lab creation, you can still check on this side. But I believe it should not take too long because Lambda as a lab provisioning, I should not take too long. If it is stuck again, you can just refresh and do the start lab again. You can click on start lab again and see how it's going to work. Thank you, Abraham. What about William? What about William? I think it's William was, I think it's the three of you. William, I hope you're somewhere. So let us now start by configuring the trigger. Okay, let me check. Okay. Yes, okay, we are together. Okay, good. So let us click on add trigger. So you can see on this side, you're seeing add trigger. This side, you're seeing add destination. So let's click on add trigger. Wow. I think my Nini always has an issue that the moment you just touch with two fingers, it's going to, okay, I really hope it's going to really not do me some injustice. It's already doing me some injustice with regards to this. So I don't want the terminal. Terminal is not of interest to me. Yeah, this is how I want it. So let me scroll. I'm here. So I'll select a trigger and choose event bridge. So you can see there's a lot you can do. There's Apache Kafka, there's CloudFront, CloudWatch logs, what DynamoDB, Kinesis, MQS, 3SNS, SQS. Then you have Atlassian, OpsGenie. We have Auth0, we have Buildline, CleverTap, Datadog, and all these partner. But let us get to CloudWatch. So you can just type CloudWatch. You can see it is here. Event bridge. Don't confuse the others. Don't choose CloudWatch logs. Make sure you choose CloudWatch events. So I'm being asked for rules, create a new rule. So I'm going to create a new rule. So the rule name is going to be every minute. So basically you want to ensure that the function is triggered every minute. Every minute. Every minute. The rule type, schedule expression. We don't have to put the description. And then the schedule expression. So you have two options. You have event pattern or based on an automated schedule. So basically, for an event pattern, it is actually going to check on how things have happened. As this happened, then this happened, then this happened. So if you choose event pattern, so you can see you have to say, you have to choose, is it auto scaling? Is it EC2? Is it going to be an EBS volume notification? Then you can even add something else onto the code. Maybe you can check on what it does. Basically, that is what event pattern works. But right now, the sense of interest is schedule expression. And then we're going to write rate into brackets 1 minute. You can see. So you can see you can use a cron or rate expressions. Crons expressions are usually in UTC time. So then we add. So you can see there's something here under the note. A more realistic and schedule-based opinator Lambda function probably be triggered by using a cron expression rather than a rate expression. So basically, in terms of the real application of Lambda, a schedule-based expression would be much better if you're using cron. So, but for the purposes of our activity, we're going to use a rate expression that will ensure that the Lambda function will be triggered as soon enough so that you can see the results, because you don't want to wait for up until 12 AM so that you can see the trigger. So that is something to note. It's better use cron rather than rate expression in a real life. So you can see right now, we now have our function, we have the trigger, and then we want to actually make sure we have where it's going to work. So you can see we're going to configure the Lambda function. So in this task, you're going to paste a few lines of code and to update 2 values in the function code. You do not need to write code to complete this task. So below the function overview, choose code, then choose lambda function.py, which is a Python file, to display and edit the Lambda code. In the code source pane, delete the existing code and copy the following code and paste it into the box. So you can see the function overview I don't know whether it is here. Nope. So there's code, test, monitor, configuration, analysis, and versions. So the code is here. So you can see there's the lambda function.py, which is this one. So this is just a sample code. So I'm supposed to delete every line of Python code that is there. And then I'll copy this. Just to understand this code, it is importing a dependency file, boto3, and then region is going to put the region by itself. Then the instance is going to have the instance ID. Then EC2 is going to be boto3.client, EC2 region. Then obviously this, you're going to actually have a handler function. These are a function definition, and it's going to take two arguments, event and context. So basically it's going to use the stop instances function or method. And with the method, you can see it takes in the instance IDs, which is equals to the instances. And obviously it's going to get it from this variable written instances here. Then it's going to provide an output stop to your instances. And then it will actually also have in combination or a concatenation of the instance ID, which has been converted into a string. So basically this is what this block of code in Python does. So let's paste it there. So we are going to review, replace with region placeholder, the actual region you're using. To do this, just check. I think you are in US East 1. Let's look at it. I think let's look at North Virginia. Yes, US East 1. So you're going to have this. For purposes of making me, it's already evening and I'm so lazy to type this out. Remember, don't forget the quotes. So since I've not copied with the quotes, I'll not include them in my selection. So I'm having that. Challenge section, verify that the name that an EC2 instance named instance 1 is running. Copy the instance and copy the instance 1 ID. So this is like a challenge you're being told. So basically I'm going to come here. And maybe I can do this. I do EC2 so that I don't have to. Then I'll not run it on the same window so that I don't lose what I've done. So it is running on this side. So basically you want to just go to that. So basically you are being told that you don't need to have step-by-step guidance on this. So I just go to that. I'm seeing instances. I'm seeing instance 1. If I select it, the moment I can already see the instance ID here, and I can copy it here. Very simple. Then just select this. I think I'm selecting the whole line, so I need to select it precision. It's precision. Then I'll have it there. So you can see, always remember to keep the single quotation marks. Always don't forget to do that. Okay. So you can see mine. Yes, you should look like that. Our code is already looking like this one. in the top right corner of the code source box, choose deploy. I don't know whether ours has deploy. Yeah, it was disappearing, so it is here. So let's wait and see. So it is successfully updated and the changes have been deployed. Choose monitor. The tab near the top of the page here, being told my network connection is unstable, but I hope I'm a bit clearer. So under monitor, you can repeat that part after writing your region code. Okay, so what I've just done, maybe just to go back there, William, when I go to code, the code source, so this part was not there. It was actually having something like this. This was what was there before. So let me just take it there to that line. So that is how it was before. So you don't know the instance ID. So how do you get it? To get it, it's just quite clear that you need to go to the EC2 instance service. So what I did is I searched EC2 and you can see it is here. But since I don't want to start it in the same tab, I just right clicked and I opened a new tab. I did this, then I opened it in a tab. Once I did that, I got to this point. You cancel this. I got to this point. When this instance was not selected, if you don't select it, you're going to not see it, but it is this one, instance one. So once I select it, and I scroll down, the first thing I'll see is the instance ID. These two boxes here show that I can copy. So I'll just copy the instance ID without really wondering what is the jargon around it and the numbers. Then I'll come here. Don't forget that you don't remove the quotations, the single quotes, and then I'll replace that part with that. So basically that's what we've just done. Then once we've already done that, for the second after you put US1, don't forget that any changes, you need to deploy the changes. So you need to click on deploy. Then you wait for the update of the function. And then you can see, like mine hasn't taken too long because obviously I haven't done any change. Let me check something else. Yes, Victor. I think I've repeated the challenge part. The challenge is basically they are trying to tell you that instead of waiting for you to follow any steps step by step, how do you get to EC2? And to get to EC2, just go to services. And if you are really, really, really stuck with what you really need to do under the challenge, here's the challenge, here's the challenge, here's the challenge. Here, you can see they tell you that you can just go to this, you can select this and just paste it in a new tab. But why do that? Yet you can really just get to, then you go to instances, then you select, then you copy the instance ID, then you take it. Yeah, so you can see I've been told to leave the browser tab open and return to it, so it is already here. I don't have to go there back again. I've put it, I've deployed it, and then we are now under monitor. So I'm told to click on the monitor tab. Monitor tab is here. Then I'm told Note that the charts show you how many times your function has been invoked. There's also a chart that shows the error count and the success rate as a percentage. So let us wait and see. Are you going to get that chart? It's still loading. You can see the charts are coming. Invocations. So you can see we are actually saying this going to be triggered every minute. So you can see there's one here. So the number of invocations is 1. And then you can see what else are we being told? Error count. You can see the error count. So if you're trying to just check it from, you try to make it bigger, you can see 0 errors and the success rate is at 100%. So you can see, I can be able to see, if you just hover your mouse, you're going to see. So that is at 14,534 UTC. It was invoked once. Verify that the Lambda function worked. Return to the Amazon EC2 in your browser tab to see if your instance was stopped. So you remember it was running. So I'll just refresh and see whether it has been stopped. Voila, magic. The instance state has been stopped by virtue of having the Lambda function as well as the Lambda function being triggered by the event, the CloudWatch event. So return to the don't reveal in yours. What do you think will happen? You can tell me in the chat. If I try clicking on start instance, we already know that, yes, I think the function is supposed to be triggered every minute. Do you think will it ever start? I don't know. I'm out of the idea. I haven't checked it myself, don't worry. So what do you think will happen? You can tell me in the chat, what do you think will happen? If I try to click on start, so basically I want to select this, then I choose maybe instance state, then I choose start. What happens? As I get the answer, I've already seen one answer. And it's still running. What would be the possible error? Victor, what do you mean mine is still running? Like, are you still in the creating of the lab? Or what do you mean? So you can see I'm telling it's successfully started. So I'm seeing pending. Then you can see it is already stopping. So the instance will be stopped again within 1 minute. So you can see I tried to start it, but it had already been triggered. At stopping a stop function. I mean a stop Lambda function had already been triggered, and it is already going to do that. So you can see it is already stopped. If I try to again to start it, start the instance, you can see it is pending. Then you have that. So do you see it has already stopped? And you can see it will always do that as long as my function is there and it has already been deployed. Let us see how many. Let us look at the invocations. Maybe I can refresh this. Oh, the EC2 instance is still running. Okay. I'm not sure. Have you analyzed your instance ID? Kindly analyze this part on your code. The first thing you remember about the code is that you need to have already deleted everything that was there, and then you paste this, and then you make sure your US is to 1, and don't forget the quotes. And again, here the single quotes for your instance ID. And always don't forget that you ensure that you put the exact instance ID that is here. Like for example, you can see mine is ending with 90CA, and you can see it is the one that is here with 90CA. So kindly check that that is basically the case. So I don't know what to think, but I was of the idea that we separate the two activities so that tomorrow is when we look at Elastic Beanstalk, so that we don't do information overload, so that we don't overload ourselves. So maybe right now, what I'll do is I'll end the YouTube session so that those who are going to be watching it later don't get quite a long video. Then I'll remain with you for the next 10 minutes to review the issues that you're having. I think that will be fine with you. So I think those who are going to follow on later can check on this. And if you still have any issues, you can just follow it up. You can just tell me, you can just contact me with any challenges that you're having, and I'll be glad to help you. You can share your screenshot or which exact step in the activity that you need, that you are not getting. Okay. That said, I think I can say that you have a nice time with regards, and we see each other tomorrow, same time on AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So let me do that.